What's going on, guys? My name is Kyle and welcome back to another Spud Cup race day. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't able to race at all this week, so I have no idea how this went. I have no idea what happened in the race. So without wasting time, let's jump in and see how this race unfolded. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Spud Cup race day. Today is round 5 of season 4 and we'll be heading over to the USA to race at the famous Sebring International Raceway. Today's track length is a total of 5.79 kilometers with a track temp of 41 degrees Celsius. Now, like I said at the start, I have no idea how this race went, so let's have a look at our heat 1 results to see exactly how our grid is going to look for our feature race. Now, after our heat 1 results, we have Yearn and Munkus locking out our top 1 and 2 positions. Below that, we have Mixter, Will, and Aiden finishing out our top 5, with Tim, CJ, Jake, Sketch, and Jeff finishing our top 10. Underneath that, we have Josh, Matt, Matthew, JDM, and Tom finishing out the rest of our grid with a total of 15 drivers here for a race at Sebring. So without wasting time, let's jump down to the grid, get ready for this green flag, and see how the race starts here at Sebring. So here we are on the grid, ready to see these cars going. Green flag has been gone. That is very, very quick. Straight off the line. We have the drivers down. We have Munkus in second. Yearn out in front. Let's get some information up on screen so we can see exactly what is going on now. Great start for Yearn to get out in front. Commanding lead so far. Munkus on the outside. Yearn on the end. We are so many cars. There are so many cars absolutely everywhere. Yearn doing a bloody good job to peel away as quick as possible. And just look at these Mazdas. Look at the MX-5s chasing him down at Sebring. I am so ashamed and upset that I missed this race because I was so looking forward to racing here at Sebring because it definitely does provide some incredible. We've got some races going off. We've got some people going off. I'm too busy talking rubbish. There's an accident. We've got a carnage between Tim and CJ. CJ's out on the wall. Tim is just getting back out on the track, but CJ is now stuck. He's stuck. I don't know if he's had any damage, but he did hit that wall pretty hard. What a way to start a race here at Sebring. Oh my God. Tim, CJ had a bit of carnage. I don't know what caused it earlier. We might have to go back and have a bit of a look, but let's jump back up to the leader now. We can see exactly what is going on with Yearn out in front. Now, like I said, we have a total of 15 drivers. Matt and Tom so far are not doing this race, which means there is only 13 cars on this track. Sebring is quite a large racetrack. It's quite a long track, being an old airfield, and the laps here are going to be quite long. But Tim is now making moves as well. Tim's made a move on Matthew. I think Matthew's had a bit of an accident as well. What is going on here today? There is absolute carnage everywhere. CJ crawling behind. I don't know what's going on with them. Let's quickly jump back up again and see what's going on at the lead. We have Mixter now in P2. Where is Munkus? Munkus is down into P7. What has happened with Munkus? He started so well up in P2. Had a really good start. He must have got caught up in some of that carnage earlier. He must have been part of some of that carnage. You can see Munkus now, the back of the pack, P7. He is chasing down. He's right in front of that blue car, which is Mr. JDM Johnson. But so far, so good for him. He's not doing too bad of a job. This is just a very interesting way to start our race here at Sebring. Let's jump up to Mixter now. You can see him squished in between Mr. Aiden Gregory and Yearn in P1. That is going to be a very, very tight pack and very close between these top 3 drivers. But Sebring is definitely one of those tracks to utilize the slipstream. You want to get close, you want to stay right behind and really try and utilize as much as you possibly can. Having a look now, you can see Mr. Aiden Gregory right behind the Fed Up Express car is right behind Mixter, chasing him down, absolutely chasing him. But this is where things get interesting. This is the last corner here at Sebring, and you can just see how intense this double ride is. The speed, you come flying in here, trying to use the car, really ripping in. You can see that front right tire for Mixter is off the ground there, and the pace is absolutely insane. And now they're charging. There's going to be a long charge down the main straight before they hit this fast left as well, and it's another one of those corners. Much like the last lap, much like the last corner, sorry, it is super quick. You can see them 180 kilometers an hour. Let's quickly jump on board with him. Have a look exactly what he's looking at. 140 kilometers here. Look at this left. Absolutely insane. You really want to commit and try and get the car to feed out to that outside line as best as absolutely possible. But so far, so good. We're now starting to settle into a bit of a rhythm. Let's jump a bit further down. You can see Munkus up into 5th. JDM in P6. Munkus is now commanding his well back up. And we've got a little bit of people going off here. Oh, God, is that Jake? I think Jake had a little bit wide in the first corner, and the second corner. Nothing too bad so far. Really throwing these MX-5s. Look at them. A little bit wide there from Jake. Oh, that's Jeff. Sorry, I do apologize. That's Jeff. God, a little bit wide. I think he's gone into the barrier. He did. Gets back out on the track. This is just really throwing people around everywhere, isn't it? My God, we have CJ now coming into pits. I think he's trying to get some damage repair. Let's have a quick little look at his car. It doesn't look too bad from the rear, but I think that's where he hit the wall on the front there. That's not a good start for CJ, but at least he can get in now, hopefully get enough fuel, but I don't think he'll have enough to end. No, he won't. He's doing a quick, fast repair and getting back out on the track. Let's jump back up to our leaders here. You can see Yearn still out in front, Mixter in P2. Mixter now getting the lead on the inside past Yearn, and Aiden does a dive as well. Aiden gets a dive, doesn't quite make it stick. Yearn's still in P3 now. Aiden did make it happen. They are side by side. Side by side. This gives Aiden the opportunity to get out in front. Aiden's going to be out in front for this right-hander. You can see them now coming through the right-hander. Aiden gets right past Yearn. Yearn goes from first down into third. We're on P3, 4 minutes in today in lap 2, and Yearn has now made his way from P1 down to P3. In similar situations, Munkus started in P2, went down to P7, and back up into P5. And behind that, we have the top 3 leaders with Will 6 seconds behind. So there's quite a bit of a difference from P1, 2, and 3 all the way down. Will has now been overtaken by Munkus, but they are jostling for position. You can see Will in the Macca's car on the left, Munkus on the right-hand side. This is going to be very, very tight between these two. You can see JDM right behind as well, Sketch right behind that. Very, very tight moves there. Very, very tight moves. You can see right behind, they are not holding back in any way, shape, or form. The pace here is absolutely insane, 160 kilometers now. This is Will's in P4. There's Munkus is making moves down. What happened with Munkus? What happened with Munkus? I think he had a bit of an accident. Now he's had to go in the inside. What is going on here? What is going on? I think Munkus has moved off the line. I think he's had a slowdown penalty. I think Munkus has gone a little bit wide in that little entry to the final straight, and he's had to pull off the track to get a slowdown penalty. What a gentleman. They're very much appreciated, my friend. Mixter has now completed his fastest lap of the race and the fastest lap in total, which is a 2:29.78. The next best lap beyond that is a 2:30.29, which is held by Mr. Aiden Gregory in P3, sorry, I apologize. You can see now looking at Josh and Munkus in P8 and 9. This is a very, very interesting race. Normally we can get a bit of a start. You see where it's starting to settle in and how it's going to work out, but this is throwing me everywhere. I have no idea what's going on. People are changing positions. Things are happening all the time. Absolutely insane. One thing that I do know, jumping back up to our leaders, we can see Yearn has made his way back from P3 into P2, and Mixter is commanding the lead. There is only 3/10 behind P1 and P2 and 3/10 behind P2 and P3, but Aiden has gone a little bit wide. Aiden went wide into the hairpin. This is just crucial. This is such an interesting start to the race, and it makes me really upset that I wasn't here to see this and be a part of this. Absolutely insane driving here from Mixter, but Yearn right on his tail. Look at him chasing down. Yearn is going to make a move here. Yearn's going to try and make a move, but Mixter's going to be on the outside. Yearn on the in. Who's going to get a better run out of this corner? Yearn regains the lead after starting in P1, getting down back into P3, and now he's jostling with Mixter for P1 again. Side by side, Mixter cuts him off, closes off the door, gets ready for the right-hander. Can Yearn tick a nose in? I don't think he will. Pretty high-speed corner through here, and Yearn's going to stick right behind him and get ready to go, but you can see Yearn is not backing off. Mixter 4/10 in front, and this is just where the speed of these cars in the slipstream is really going to come into play. This is a 40-minute session, so you have 40 minutes of racing here today, and in comparison, we are only on lap 3, but we are 7 minutes in, so a 2.5-minute lap is a very, very long lap in these cars, and it's definitely going to prove to be a little bit more patient and try and get some moves done at some point in the lap, because you're not going to have that many and not have to have that many chances in certain areas if you're comfortable. We can look now. You can see Yearn 3/10 behind. This is going to be very, very close. Jumping up to our blimp, you can see just how long this straight is. Look at how vast this long straight is on the back end there. Normally in GT3s and faster cars, it doesn't seem to be too bad, but in these MX-5s, it is quite a long straight. Look at Mixter throwing that Mazda around the final corner, really relying on that front left, sorry, I have to really think about that. On the front left, just absolutely shredding the rubber off it. This is going to be very, very tight. Yearn less than a 10th now heading into turn 1. This is where position can be changed. Yearn on the outside, just completing our fastest lap of today with 2:29.7, beating Mixter by a 10th on his fastest of today. Mixter still out in front, Yearn on the out. So far, so good for everyone out in P1, 2, and 3. Aiden slowly slipping back behind. JDM is now 7 seconds behind Aiden in P4, and we are getting some change of positions with Jake and Will. Let's jump down to these guys further down the grid. Let's have a look at these guys racing for position. Jake gets pushed a little bit wide out into the dirt. Nothing too crazy, but tucks right in behind Will. Josh right behind. Josh makes a move on Jake. Josh makes a move on the inside. Can he make it clean? Jake gets nudged. Nothing too crazy. He doesn't hit the wall. He gets hit. He's got a little bit of damage to the front left. Little bit of damage to the front left, nothing too bad, but he's trying to get himself back out on the track. Can we see any carnage to the front of that car? You can. Look at that front left fender. It is not having a very good time. Jake trying to get this car back out onto the tarmac. This is a very, very harsh race for Jake so far. Jake's now made his way down into P12. CJ's still collecting, trying to get a little bit closer. Jake's now stopping and going to teleport back to the pits because it is going to be faster to try and teleport back to the pits than it would be trying to drive back around. Let's jump down to Munkus. Munkus now making a move on Sketchkov. There is less than half a tenth between them. Munkus on the outside, Sketch is going to be on the in. What is going to happen here between these two drivers? Still both very good, very clean drivers, so I definitely expect to see some great racing here across the board. Nothing we can do now but wait. All we have to do is hope for the best and see what's going to happen. Hoping for the best. Munkus is now up to P5 after starting in second, going down to 7th, back up into P5, and then dropping down into P12 to now make his way back up to his P5 position. This is exactly what I'm talking about. There is so much changing of positions here at Sebring in these Mazdas that I have no idea how this race is going to end today. I have no idea. Josh could be on the podium. Tim could be on the podium. Jeff could be on the podium. We have absolutely no idea. Just because these guys are in 8, 9, and 10 has no meaning to the end of today's race. Let's quickly jump up to P1 and 2. You can see Jörn right behind Mixter making a move. Let's jump in board with him. Look at him making a move on the inside. Tucks in right next to Mixter. This is going to be very, very close. Very, very close between these two drivers. Jörn makes his move stick, gets out in front. He is 3, 4, 5 tenths ahead of Mixter. This is a very, very tight race between these two. But even though Jörn gets out in front, Mixter still tucked in right behind him. Less than 2 tenths now to Mixter. Mixter has definitely picked a bloody good line to take him down. Look at how close he is. Less than a tenth. Jörn completing the fastest lap again of the race with a 2:29.6. That is a very, very quick lap here in these MX-5s at Sebring. Jörn pulling away slightly through turn 1. Very, very tight line to that inside concrete wall. This is going to be a very close drive between the top 3 drivers. Hopefully, we're hoping to see JDM get a little bit closer. If we can get those drivers that are a little bit further down the grid to get closer to the top 3, I can't wait to see what happens here. Now, this will be a pit stop race. You do have to stop because you won't have enough fuel to finish today's session, but you might not have to get any tires depending on how you're treating them. It should just be stopping for fuel, getting back out on the track, and hopefully finishing without too many issues. But like we've seen so far, there's been off tracks, there's been slowdowns, there's been accidents, there's been a lot of things happening across the board that this is anybody's race. This is anybody's race. Let's have a look now. You can see Jörn and Mixter taking on the hairpin. Very, very tight turn here, but Mixter is not holding back. He is still right behind Jörn, chasing him down. Absolutely chasing him down. Let's have a look now at our sectors of the guys in P1 and 2. You can see Sector 1, Jörn is way faster than Mixter by about 3 tenths, but Mixter is making that time back in Sector 2. Let's see what happens throughout Sectors 3 and 4 and see who's a little bit quicker. You can see Mixter is actually faster in Sector 3, which is giving him a good chance to catch up. The slipstream will definitely be helping, but like I've said a million times this season and last season, Mixter's improvement in most of these cars has been absolutely phenomenal, so I'm not at all surprised to see him racing for that top spot today in an absolute incredible race so far. Mixter still 2 tenths, very, very close to Jörn. Aiden is now 1.5 seconds. Let's jump down to him, have a bit of a look quickly and see what his sectors are like in comparison to everyone else. You can see Mixter is a little bit slower in Sector 1 than Aiden and JDM behind, but so far so good. He's making it back up in 2, 3, and 5 so far. We'll see exactly what happens with JDM's time. Is Aiden in a little bit of trouble to lose that gap to JDM? So far, I don't think so, but we'll see how that turns out for the rest of the race. Aiden getting a little bit loose there in that right-hander before we get on the back straight, but so far so good for these drivers. Everything is looking to shape up. We'll see exactly what happens. You can see Aiden pulling out to the side. He's slowing down. Aiden did get a slowdown penalty for that part of the track. It is absolutely ruthless, but you can see in the distance, Mixter making a move on the inside. What is going to happen here? Mixter just gets past him. He's going to hold that inside line, but is that going to give Jörn a better chance to pull out in front of him and see if he can get the pace? This is going to be very, very tight. You can see holding that conservative line might not necessarily be the best thing because it does give the guy behind you a way better line to get closer. Look at how close these two drivers are. They are so close heading into turn 1. They are literally within a quarter of a tenth between them going through turn 1, really committing, but now we might have a little bit of trouble for these guys. Munkus has now completed his fastest lap of the race and the fastest lap so far with a 2:29.1. And just to clarify, That beats the fastest lap so far by way more than half a second. Munkus could not be here to mess around. He's going to be trying to get these lap times. He's going to try and make his way back up the grid. And you can see now JDM may be facing a little bit of trouble. Munkus is chasing him down. That car number 753 in the distance. Munkus chasing him down from behind. This is going to be very, very close. Sketch now making a move on Will as well. Sketch made a move on Will, getting past him. This is so tight. You can see Tim. Josh goes a little bit wide in the background, but nothing too crazy. Sketch up at a P6. Will is only 5/10 behind him. Tim 9/10 behind that, and Josh 7/10 behind that. The gaps between P9 and P6 are going to be very, very close and a lot closer than the rest of the grid so far. But let's quickly jump back up to Munkus, because I reckon he's going to get very close and maybe even close enough to make a move on JDM before the end of this lap. He is making it up very, very quickly. Josh is just taking a move on Pilt as well. Pilt is just making a move on Tim. God, I'm losing my absolute mind today. Just because I didn't get to race, I have absolutely no idea what is going on. Munkus now 7/10 behind JDM, still very close, but he wants to hold on for as long as he can. And I think what he's trying to do, I might be wrong here, but I think he's trying to set himself up for be close enough down the back straight to potentially make that overtake happen. I hope this is how it works. We have absolutely no idea yet, but let's see exactly how this folds out. We are now 14 and a half minutes into this 40-minute session. Everyone's settled into their grooves. Positions have started to settle. Mixter and Yearn are going back and forth and back and forth. Aiden now has 3.5 seconds of a gap to Mixter, so he's got quite a bit of work to do to catch back up. But with any luck, Yearn and Mixter are going to battle, and that could give Aiden a better chance to get a little bit closer. JDM now closing that gap to 5.4 seconds. Aiden did have a slowdown earlier, which means he's given a bit of a chance. And you can see JDM goes wide. JDM goes very, very wide, and that's given Munkus a chance to get past him. That's down the back straight. That is absolutely crucial. Absolutely crucial, but that's given JDM a really, really poor chance now. Unfortunately, he's going to have to do a little bit of work to get back closer to Munkus. This is over a second of a gap now. You can see Munkus absolutely throwing that car in, launching that car through that final corner. This is one of my favorite corners on some of these tracks that we've raced at and had the opportunity to race at here in iRacing. The Sebring International Circuit, especially in these cars, it is such a fun combination to throw these cars into that final corner. Is such a fun experience. You can see Munkus is now made his way up into P4, and Will has now jumped himself into the pits. You can see him coming into pit lane now. Tim and Josh have made their way past. Tim is only 2/10 behind Josh. Let's have a look at these two now and see exactly what's going to happen heading into turn 1, and just look at how long this track is. Look at this turn 1. So much pace. Trying to get to that close, into that wall as close as you possibly can. Josh being a little bit more conservative, Tim still very, very close to him, and this just gives you a really good idea, being up in the blimp, it gives you such a good idea of how long this track actually is. We are only on turns 2 and 3 right now, but it feels like we've been going on forever. Let's jump back down now and see exactly what's going on. Tim is 6/10 behind, he has a bit of an accident. Tim goes a little bit wide, gets his rear tires in the dirt, but he collects it. He does a bloody good job of keeping that on the track. Incredible work there from Timmy. Matthew now coming into the pits. We can see our safety car definitely sticks out in the pit lane so far, but Will now coming out of pit lane. You can see the Mercedes GT3 right behind Matthew, and I can only imagine coming into pits to get any sort of fuel and seeing that safety car behind you can probably be very, very intimidating. But that's not the point. Matthew's now getting back out on the track. You can see him peeling away from pit lane now. Yearn and Mixter are now coming past him. CJ's coming past. This is going to be so close. So tight. Yearn is 3/10 behind in front of Mixter. Mixter still holding on, staying in that slipstream and just showing that he is an absolute force to be reckoned with. Aiden now 6 seconds behind P2. Munkus only 2.5 seconds behind Aiden, which is going to be very, very tough for Aiden to pull away. He has to try and get that pace up and get away from Munkus, because I think if Munkus and JDM can get in the slipstream of Aiden, then there could be some prices to pay here, unfortunately, to say that for Aiden on that P3 podium position. But you can see Munkus now 3 seconds, 2.9 seconds. Aiden coming through that final corner, and Munkus in the distance. You can see them very, very close to our leaders so far. There's only 2.7 seconds behind Aiden with Munkus. You can see them all out in the distance there. Mixter on the inside. Can he make a move? He is very, very close. Yearn holding on. Mixter very close to him. This is so close. Yearn trying his best to make the overtake happen, but Mixter holds on to P1, gets out in front, and then you can see Yearn is absolutely right behind him, trying to get in that slipstream. Is he going to make a move? Let's see what happens here with Yearn in turn 1. What is he going to do? Is he going to back off? He does. He backs off, tries to slipstream and get a little bit closer to him. We are now on lap 8, 17.5 minutes into our 40-minute session. So far, nothing that has happened is something that I could predict. I had absolutely no idea what this race entailed or how this race went today. I haven't spoken to any of the drivers. I have no idea if there was any incidents or problems or whatever, and this is not at all what I expected. I didn't know what I was walking into today, but I didn't expect it to see such incredibly good and close driving across the board. Jörn and Mixter really putting on a display for us to all enjoy here today. Let's jump a little further down. You can see JDM 8/10 now behind Munkus. He is still there. He's made his way back up. I don't know how he's gotten that close to Munkus. Having look at our last laps, we've got a 229.7 for JDM, and Munkus was a 229.1 were their best laps. Last laps were a 229.1 and a 229.0, so they are very, very close to each other on the pace. Let's have a look now at our sectors, see exactly what it looks like for Munkus and JDM. JDM actually faster in Sector 1, and then 2 in Sector 2, 4.5 tenths, 5 tenths faster than Munkus. I don't know, Munkus has had a little bit of a lose with the car. If the car's gone out of him a little bit, I have no idea. We'll see exactly what happens here. He might even be saving fuel. We have no idea. You can see JDM faster in Sector 3 as well. Maybe JDM just has the absolute ridiculous pace here today, which I am not at all surprised by. But Munkus now only 1.8 seconds behind Aiden. Aiden may be facing a little bit of trouble here in a second. Let's see exactly what happens through the back part of this track. But you can see they are chasing him down. You can see Aiden right in the distance. Let's see, have a look at the sectors there for Aiden. Aiden is under fire. Munkus is faster in sectors 1, 3, 4, 5, as is JDM to Aiden. Aiden's only sector that he's beating out on Munkus is Sector 2 when he was 2 tenths quicker. This could be a very, very tricky situation for Aiden to get himself out of. Munkus now 1.7 seconds behind, 4 tenths for Jörn to Mixter. Mixter still out in front and is commanding his lead in today's race. I'm so impressed with the level of driving here today. I did not expect it to be this close and changing positions this many times, but I've got a massive, massive anticipation for how this race is going to finish. You can see Munkus, like I said before, started in second, went down to 7th, back to 5th, then down to 12th or 13th, back up to 5th. Very, very, very close driving across the board here. Jörn now 8 tenths behind Mixter, and now you can see everyone started to settle into their positions. Everyone's sort of coasting out a bit. Munkus is definitely closing in on Aiden. JDM has had to slow down. I don't know if he's got a slowdown penalty or what happened there with JDM, but he is only 3 seconds behind Munkus. So Munkus is definitely starting to pull away, and this could be bad news here for Aiden. 1.1 seconds of a difference, and if he gets a little bit closer, he's going to be in that slipstream, and you're really utilizing that on a lot of these straights here at Sebring. This is going to be very, very close. Hopefully, Aiden can stay in front and get a little bit further ahead before these pit stops, but he's getting a bit nervous, I think. He's got out in the dirt. That's given Munkus a chance to get a bit closer. Hopefully, that's not a slowdown. I know there's some slowdowns here that are quite ruthless in this part of the track, but we'll see exactly what that's going to happen for with Aiden. If he doesn't slow down, we know he didn't get one. Jörn is now 4 tenths behind Mixer. Let's quickly jump up to our leaders because you can see him chasing down again. You can see just how close he is to Mixer. Car number 18 out in front, which has definitely been doing a great job today holding our lead. But just look at how much they throw these cars around. You can see Jörn trying to make a dive on the inside. He does, and he backs off, makes a smart overtake. Mixer goes a little bit wide here. Mixer goes a little bit wide. That gives Jörn the opportunity to get in the door, but he can't quite make it stick. Mixer getting a little bit further ahead, pulls out in front, and that gets Jörn the chance to tuck right back in behind him again. Mixter doing a great job. This is such great defending here from Mixter today. Jörn going through that back part of the track. You can see Mixter dipping his tire in the dirt there. Nothing too crucial. CJ's now coming into the pits, as is Tom. Obviously, our safety car driver in the pits already, so don't take too much note with him out on our overlays. But CJ coming into pit lane. I don't know if he's getting some damage, getting some fuel. I don't know what the deal is, but he is stopped in his pit box. We'll see what's going to happen here with him. I can't see any damage on the car, but he is sitting there for a bit, which says to me he's coming in now to get his fuel. Our first fueled pit stop for today. Let's see how that turns out. Munkus now 4 tenths behind Aiden. I told you he was going to get closer. I didn't expect it to be that quick. Aiden goes wide. Aiden goes very, very wide. That has given Munkus a chance. Look at how close he is. This is all over. This is all over for Aiden. Munkus is going to make a move off on the inside. He's not going to have the pace. Munkus is going to get out in front. And like I've said before, look at how long this back straight is here at Sebring. And this definitely goes a lot faster in some faster cars like a GT3, but here in these MX-5s, you can just really understand how long this corner is. Aiden really throwing it on the inside there, trying to hold to that inside line, doing a bloody great job, tucks in right behind Munkus, but that has made Munkus now back up into P3. Yearn looking at close here as they're jostling for position. This is so tight here. Yearn on the inside, Mixter goes very wide. Mixter goes very, very wide to turn 1, and Yearn has got a 5/10 lead. He's half a second up. I don't know how he's managed to do it, but he's done it. What a job. That's insane. Absolutely insane. Let's jump further down the grid now with Tim. Tim is now coming into pit lane to get his pit stop done with. Josh now passing Tim in the pits, but this is very, very interesting. So we are 23 minutes into our 40-minute session, and Tim is coming in now to get his fuel. So I don't know what the plan is. I don't know what the pit strategy is, but we've already seen CJ come in for fuel. Tim is now coming in for fuel. I wonder if some other drivers have stopped for their fuel yet, or tried to get some fuel saving happening to stretch out their stint. We'll see exactly what happens here. Aiden, we are looking at him right behind Munkus. Munkus might be in a little bit of trouble again. Aiden might be catching back up. The slipstream here is going to be absolutely crucial. If you can get the slipstream of the car out in front, you may get it in a position to make that overtake happen, like we're seeing here with Mixter and Yearn. I didn't even need to see the cars, but I know that the slipstream is doing its work just by how different the relative is looking across the board. Let's jump up now to our blimp, because I think you understand how big Sebring is with these cars. I think the blimp gives it a really, really, really good view of how far away and how long this track is. Being at an old airfield base, it definitely shows the runways that you use for the straights and the things that you use with these cars. Sebring is such a great track and such a long track, which is definitely why it's used for a lot of endurance racing. But here you can see just at how big this is. You've got a final right-hander here that leads you down into a little chicane here before the long straight in the back. Right hand into a little tiny right-hander. Look at this. The pace, you can barely see them out in the distance, but you got Yearn out in front, and just absorb how long this straight is. Absorb how long this back straight is. You can see how close Mixter's getting, and that slipstream doing its work. There is no better indicator as to this situation right here. Look at him slowly closing that gap. Slowly but surely, he's going to get closer into that final corner. We're going to look at this final corner through the blimp as well, just to show you how intense this right-hander is. Absolutely throwing the cars in. Mixter getting a bloody good line using the slipstream, and Yearn looks like he's coming into pits. Yearn is coming into pits. He's going into his pit stop. Let's have a look at our leader now. Mixter out in front. Yearn coming into pit lane. He's going to do his first stop of today, and his only stop of today. And as is Aiden. Aiden also coming into pits today for his pit stop. That is Mixter out in front, and potentially may have left himself open to a bit of an undercut there from Yearn. We'll see exactly what happens here. We'll see what goes on. JDM now has made his way into P3. Yearn and Aiden in the pits. Munkus back into P2. And Mixter now has a 7-second lead. He's out in front. He's got nothing really to worry about just yet. He has to try and save some fuel. Jumping on board with him now, you can see just how intensely quick this car is. But we've got a hairpin coming up that is very, very tight. And again, it's one of those corners here at Sebring that I don't think you can really understand how tight it is without being in the car and experiencing it for yourself. So having a look now, you can see really throws it down. He's back down. I think he's in second gear at the moment. But just look at how quick he is. Absolutely killing it. Absolutely killing it. Doing such a freaking great job here. 120 kilometers an hour here for Mixter. Let's have a look now. You can see Sketch and Josh are in pits as well. People are now coming out of pit lane. Jeff, right on the back part of the track here. What is going on? Where is everybody? Jeff's made his way up into P5. Aiden. Josh is now coming out of the pits as well. So Josh is coming out of the pits. Sketch will be coming out of the pits very, very soon. Tim is about to cross the line and get back in front of Aiden. Sorry, in front of Sketch. Is he going to get past Josh? I don't think he will, but you can see him coming around right now. Still very, very close. Will, right behind Tim. Sketch coming out of pit lane now. We've seen some pit stops. Not everyone has finished. Mixter is going to have to get into the pits. I don't know how long it's going to take him to get his fuel and get his pit stop done, but so far, he has a 7.7 second lead in front of Munkus in P2. Let's see how that turns out for him. You can see Yearn is actually the one racing Mixter for position, and he is 18.8 seconds behind him. Does this mean Mixter can get into the pits, get his fuel, get back out on the track, and still stay in front of Yearn? I guess the only thing we can do is wait and see exactly what happens here for our current race leader, Mr. Mixter, in car number 18, the black and pink livery. You can see him now coming around the final corner. nice and close to that inside line. Trying to save some fuel. We'll see exactly what he does. Surely he will have to come into the pits now. You'll tell if he can hold that inside line. I think he's going to do it. He is. Mixter's coming into pits now to get his pit stop done. Let's see exactly what happens here. Mixter coming into pit lane. We have Yearn is 19 seconds behind him. Let's quickly jump to Yearn and see exactly where he is on the track. Yearn is coming down the back straight. Is Mixter going to be close enough? Can he get his pits done? He's passing through the safety car. All bounds of physicality have disappeared now. Monka's coming into the pits. JDM coming into the pits. Where is Yearn? Yearn is now tackling this final corner. Where is Mixter? Can Mixter make this happen? He hasn't left his pit box yet. Where is Yearn? This is going to be very, very tight. Yearn coming down the straight now. Where is Mixter? Mixter's still in the pits. What is going on here? Mixter needs to get out. He's not going to make it happen. Yearn is now going to pass him in pit lane. Come on, Mixter, get out of the pits. He's coming out now. You can see Yearn has passed him on the back straight. He's passed him on the start-finish straight, heading into turn 1. I don't know how far away this is going to be, but this is going to be a good lead out here for Yearn. He has successfully completed an undercut. Yearn now garnering himself a 5-second lead. Mixter back out onto the track now, 5 seconds behind. Munkus in P3. He is 2.5 seconds behind Mixter. Aiden 10 seconds behind P3. JDM is now coming out of the pits as well in our current race position of P5. Jeff Dalton in P6, showing an incredible race here today, is in pit lane, getting his pit stop done. Is he going to be able to come out in a good position? We'll see exactly what happens. Josh, Tim, and Will all getting past him. Sketchkov is also going to pass him. Will Mr. Matthew Buckle also pass him in pit lane. He's coming down the back straight now, front straight now. We'll see what is going to happen here with Jeff. Is Jeff going to get out of the pits on time? I don't think he will. He's still in there getting some tires. He's going to have to replace him. That means Matt is out in front, getting past Mr. Jeff Dalton in P11. Jeff, an unfortunate pit stop for him, going in at P6, coming out in P11. CJ still down in P12, just showing his laps, getting his race done. Had an unfortunate start, getting pushed off and thrown into the wall. I don't know exactly what happened with that incident, but CJ having no choice but to pit and get some repairs for his car. Let's quickly jump back up to our leader now. You can see Yearn out in front. Will also, let's jump down to that in P8. Will is only 2/10 behind Tim. Look at how close these two are. Look at how close they are. Jumping on board with Will. You can see him chasing down Mr. Tim in P7. Less than 2/10 behind. This is going to be quite dangerous for Tim because Will could make a move on the inside. Will darts over to the left-hand side. Tim tries to box him off. He does a bloody good job of holding him off. Great defense there from Tim and great moves there from Will to try and be a little bit more conservative and get a way better run out of that corner. This is going to put Tim in a little bit of danger here. Will very, very close, less than 2/10 behind. Tim trying to hold him off, trying to close that door. We've got a right-hander here that lets into that last little part of the track, throwing these MX-5s over the curbs, and Will is not holding back. He's absolutely relentless on Tim there. Look at how close he is, chasing him down. We have just ticked over to 30 minutes. We are 30 minutes and 30 seconds in to today's race. We only have 10 minutes left. 3/4 of today's race is already completed, and Will is not holding back. After half an hour of racing, he's still ready and here to make this position. Seeing how Will goes, I think he went a little bit wide, nothing too crucial. I wonder if that is a slowdown. It is really, really good to get as wide as you can on that final corner before you head down the back straight, but it is absolutely by no means worth getting that slowdown penalty. Tim holds up on the inside, tries to get the door closed as best as he possibly can. Weaving there a little bit to try and get a good line. This is going to be very, very tight. Will less than 1.5 behind. So you can see the pace. 110 kilometers, 100 kilometers an hour through that final corner. That takes absolute guts. I know we're doing this in virtual vehicles, but I can only imagine how quick that corner feels in a real car. Absolutely insane. You can see Yearn still out in front. Looking at our leader, you can see him here large in the charge. Mixter 4.2 seconds behind. Mixter's last lap for record was a 3:05. That is going to be because of pit lane. Probably not the best thing to look at it now. We'll wait one more lap to see exactly what this is going to look like. But Mixter is out in front in the way of sectors. He's 0.5 tenths faster in Sector 1, 3.5 tenths faster in Sector 2. What is going to happen here for Sector 3? If Mixter's quicker in the third sector, he's not quite, but he's definitely not far off as Yearn's pace. Yearn may be in trouble here. We have 8 minutes left of today's session, and if Mixter can still hold on to these lap times like he is in Sector 1 and 2, this could be a really good opportunity for him to get a little bit closer to Yearn out in P1. He is quicker in Sector 4 as well. That means Mixter is quicker in sectors 1, 2, and 4. The only thing he's losing out is less. Oh god, he's had a little bit of going off. I shouldn't have said anything. Mixter, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said a bloody word. Mixter's now dropping down. He made up all that time, but that has given Munkus in P3 a chance to get within a second. Munkus is now 6.5 tenths behind him. I shouldn't have said a bloody thing. Mixter, I'm so sorry. What am I talking for? I can't believe I said a bloody thing. Oh my goodness gracious. Will has also made a move on Tim. He's got his move past him. Let's have a quick little look with Tim and Will jostling for position. You can see Tim on the outside. Will trying to get past him. Tim blocks the door off. Great defending here from Tim. You can see how close they are. They are so tight on the track there. Will doing a bit of a crossover, trying to get on the inside. He gets past him. He does the cutback, but is he going to have enough pace to get past him in this part of the track here? This is going to be very, very tight. Tim still on the inside, tries to hold off that inside line. Will not holding back at all. They are almost touching bumper to bumper. Almost makes a move there from Will, but still holds back. Less than 2 tenths between them. Very, very tight driving here. Will tries to make a move on the inside. Can't quite make it happen. Tim tries to go a little bit further out than he has to. This is going to be very, very tight. You can see how close they are. They are so, so close. You can see Will less than a tenth and a half behind. He is chasing him down. And this is, again, like I've said a million times today, the slipstream here is absolutely crucial. Will tries to make a move on the inside. He cuts back. Tim gets on the inside. Will tries to cut back and get a better line through the final corner. This is going to be interesting. Let's see exactly how this turns out. Tim dabbing the brakes there a little bit to stop his bit of oversteer. This is so close. Will, 2.5 tenths behind, going down the back straight. He has a way better exit. Will got a way better exit. I was lost for words there a little bit. There he goes. This is the move. This is the move. Can he make it happen? Will, less than half a tenth behind him. Tim trying to close off the door. What is going to happen here? Are they going to touch? They don't quite. Will gets the cutback. What is going to happen here? This is going to give Will a chance to be on the inside for this second turn. What is going to happen? Is Tim going to do a cutback on him? He doesn't. Will gets the move made. Tim tucks right behind. This is such close, good driving. You can barely even see Will there. They make slight contact. Will nudges the front right-hand tire of Tim's car. Tim is now half a second behind. I don't think there's any damage there to Tim's car. We will see exactly what happens here in the later parts of this lap. We are 34.5 minutes into our 40-minute session. We are so close to the end of today's race. Yearn still out in front. Mixter in P2, 4.5 seconds behind Yearn, and Munkus in P3 after changing from different ends of today's field is back into P3 with 2.5 tenths behind Mixter. Let's quickly jump up to those two leaders. We'll let Tim and Will battle it out. You can see Munkus chasing down that car number 18 with the golden rims. This is going to be very, very close driving across the board here from the guys. Car number 18, Mixter, trying to do his final right-hander before the back straight. Did Munkus get a better release out of this corner? He did. Munkus has got a better release out of the final corner before the back straight. This is going to be very, very interesting here. 175 kilometers an hour, 180 k's an hour. Munkus takes a dive on the inside. Is he going to make his move stick? Is Munkus going to get his move to stick? Mixter getting a better line through the outside of the final corner here. Munkus having to try to tuck in tight and get a good release out of this final corner, but he makes the position. But can Mixter get it back just on raw pace alone? Let's see exactly what happens here. Munkus is 2.5 tenths in front. Let's see what our lap times are as the boys cross the road. You've got Munkus with a 229.5, Mixter with a 230.3. That is Munkus faster per lap. I don't know if that means the slipstream or if Mixter had a bit of a slip up, but that is Munkus back into P2. Yearn is now 4 seconds ahead. He is slowly losing that 5-second gap. We have 4 minutes left, 3 minutes and 50 seconds if you want to be specific, but this is where things are going to come undone. This is a 2.5 minute lap, which means we may only have 2 laps left of today's race. Let's have a look now. Will and Tim are changing positions back and forth. Tim has made his position back into P7. Will in P8, 5 tenths behind. Josh is in P6. Mr. Piltdown Man has made his way into P6, 8 seconds behind JDM in P5. JDM, 13 seconds behind Aiden. Aiden, 13 seconds behind Mixter. This is very, very close racing. Mixter almost getting caught behind Munkus, but Munkus makes it out in front. 3 tenths between them. This is such close racing. I cannot believe how tight this has been. I wish I was part of this. I wish I was in with this these guys trying to do this race, but I couldn't be there, unfortunately. Mixter, 2 tenths behind Munkus. Look at how close he is on the inside there. Is he going to stick his nose in? He won't. He won't stick his nose in just yet, but he's not over yet. We've got a couple of little corners here before the back straight, and I think a lot of the parts of the racing here at Sebring is setting yourself up for the overtake, trying to make a good move to be a faster release on one of the straights because there's such a long distance to get these overtakes done. If you can get a faster release out of that final corner before the straight, you can make up a lot of time, and I think that's exactly what Mixter is planning to do here behind Munkus. You can see 1.5 tenths behind. Will is also 2.5 tenths behind Tim. This is very, very close here. Final corner here before the back straight. Munkus looking very, very clean and tidy. What is going to happen here with Mixter? Sorry, they've got a final corner now. It's on the bloody wrong part of the track. Goes a little bit wide, nothing too crazy. Very quick pace there, 120 kilometers an hour. You can see just throwing the body of that MX-5 around, and Mixter is very, very close here. What is going to happen? Less than half a second. Munkus is also now 3.2 seconds to Yearn. Could Yearn lose this P1 position in the last 2 minutes of today's race? Weirder things have happened, but Munkus is now 3 seconds, less than 3 seconds almost, to Yearn. It started at 5 seconds. It's now down to 3 seconds. I don't know if they can get close enough in the final part of the stage track. What happened to Mixter? What happened to Mixter? We've bloody missed it. What happened with him? What happened to Mixter? He was right behind Munkus. What happened? Mixter, no, in the last 2 minutes of today's race, you were right there, the final corner. I have a deadly feeling that he had a bit of oversteer and spun on the final corner of today's race. It is literally probably going to be the final time, one of the final times they go through that corner, and I think Mixter had a bit of oversteer. He is now 9 seconds behind Munkus. What happened? Mixter was there. I shouldn't have said anything, mate. I'm so sorry. Oh my god. Mixter now trying to make his time back up. He's 9 seconds of a difference. Munkus is 3 seconds of a difference to Yearn, and there is 1 minute left. We have 60 seconds left of today's race. Let's quickly jump back down to Will. Will and Tim putting on a good bloody display here of racing. Will is less than half a tenth. He is 1/4 of a tenth behind him. Can he make a move? Tim on the inside to the first corner. What is going to happen here? Will gets on the outside. This is going to set Tim up to be on the inside for turn number 2, but I don't know exactly how it's going to turn out. Tim and Will really putting on a great display of driving here today. Absolutely incredible job. Will tries to get the cut back on Tim. Can he make it stick? Nothing solidified just yet. Tries to stick a nose in, but he can't get it to happen. We have 25 seconds left of today's race. Munkus is now to 2.6 seconds behind Yearn in P2. I don't think he's going to get it to stick, but we'll see what happens. Weirder things have happened. I can't believe Mixter had a bit of a tussle in the final corner on the second last lap. But it just goes to show you cannot take anything for granted here in the Spud Cup races. Yearn is 2.5 seconds out in front. Let's quickly have a quick look. Will and Tim, they nudge. Will and Tim nudge. They're bumping doors trying to get these positions. Bumping doors. Tim has maintained his position. He's still out in front. I was going to have a look at the car out in front, but I think the racing that's important is happening right here. Yearn is 2.5 seconds in front of Munkus, but there is only a tenth between Tim and Will. Will tries to get a move on the outside, tries to do the cutback. Tim closes the door. This is very, very tight driving. Very, very tight driving across the board here from these guys. Let's have a quick little look at Tim. Look at what he's facing. Will is right behind him. Matthew is also 4 tenths behind Sketchkov in P9. This is very, very close. I can only imagine what it's going to look like in the last little part of this track. Yearn is going to be very, very close to finishing his race today. He must be very, very close. Let's see exactly what happens here. I have absolutely no idea what's going on. This is very, very close. Oh my god, Will is 1.5 tenths behind, dabbing the brakes. Yearn has just crossed the line, is our current race winner. Munkus has finished in P2. Mixter is going to be crossing the line very, very soon. But you can see there, Will going a little bit wide. I don't know if that's going to put the nail in the coffin for him. I don't know if that's a slowdown. We'll see exactly what happens. But there is so close between them. Mixter crossing the line in P3. Aiden crossing the line in P4. JDM is coming across the line any second now, but the racing is happening right here. Tim and Will, they touch and they have an accident. Oh my god. Oh my god. Will and Tim have stacked in the last straight of today's race. Tim trying to get off the track for Sketch and for Matthew. That is such an unfortunate way to see today's race end. Tim trying to get back out on the track. What a race. Oh my god. That is such a disappointment. I would have loved to have seen these two race to the end and race to the final line of today's track. What a... Wow, that is so unfortunate. That is so unfortunate. How disappointing. After 30 minutes of very, very close, tight racing, that's how it ends. Will finishing up in P7 with Tim crossing the line. And just look at their cars. Look at Will. I'm surprised he got that bloody car across the line at all. And as to Tim was rolling down that final straight. I cannot believe that he managed to get that across the line. Matthew, our P8 driver today, finishing out in front of Sketch in P9. This has been a very, very interesting race today. Aiden burning some rubber in celebration of his P4 finish. That is a very, very good race. Josh, our finishing in P6. That's a great result there from Josh. So let's have a look now. Let's see exactly what our results look like across the board and see exactly how today's race stacked up after everything has been said and done. Looking at our results here from Sebring, you can see Jörn taking out the win with a 2.5 second lead. That is an incredible job there from Jörn. Incredible job with the pit strategy. Incredible racing. I thought he might get a little bit in trouble in the last little couple of laps there, but if Mixter didn't have that tussle, it could have been a little bit different. Munkus getting very, very close, but great job there to Jörn. And incredible driving again to Munkus to go from P2 all the way down to the grid, back up a little bit, all the way back down, and then slowly climbing his way back up into the P2 finish is an incredible job no matter where you are on the grid. Mixter in P3, finishing out our top 3 drivers, and incredible racing there from Mixter and Munkus and Jörn for the first 15-20 minutes of today's race, and an incredible finish for Munkus and Mixter. It was such a pleasure to watch. It would have been much better for me to be in that race, but to sit back and watch that now as the replay gets recorded is absolutely insane. Incredible racing, guys. It feels like I'm watching a real-life motorsport event. Absolutely insane. Aiden finishing out in P4 with JDM right behind in P5. Very, very close racing across the board from these guys here. I think a lot of it came down to damage and a lot came down to pit strategy, but it was so good to watch nonetheless. Josh, the Piltdown man, finishing in P6 with Will, Matthew, Sketch, and Tim rounding out our top 10 positions. Again, shame to see Tim and Will not get to race that across the line, but unfortunately, that's racing. It's just one of those things. It would have been way better to see them finish in position across the line, because I think it would have been very, very close. But unfortunately, we just won't know how that turns out. CJ, Jeff, Jake, Tom, and Matt finishing out our top 15 positions. Incredible racing across the board. I'm so, so impressed with everybody's driving here today. Sebring is one of my favorite tracks to race these cars, and I'm sure you can tell now that is exactly why. Incredible combination and incredible driving. Let's jump now to our results and see how our championship standings are stacking up after this round. Looking at our results now, you can see there's been quite a bit of changes due to people not being in today's race. Jörn has made his way up into the top spot with 76 championship points. Dylan Gray in P2 with 75 championship points, and I have lost my lead. I've gone from P1 down to P3 with 72 championship points. Underneath myself, we have Michael and Scott with 69 and 65 points. I won't make the obvious joke, but I know you probably all had a bit of a chuckle when I read out Michael's individual scores. That is our top 5 of today's championship. Jörn out in front, Dylan in P2, and myself still out there in P3, holding on to that podium finish as absolutely best as possible. But you can see now Jörn getting 2 wins in this Season 4 here of the Spud Cup so far. Incredible driving, incredible job. If you guys like this video, don't forget to leave it a thumbs up. Also subscribe. These videos get posted every single week, and if you do enjoy them, you do not want to miss them. If you guys want to come and see these races happen live, we stream them every single week. I will leave all the information to not only all the social media, but the stream schedule and link in the description. If you want to come and see these races happen live, we would love to have you there. Let me know you found this video and come be a part of the Spud Cup community. If you do want to join us on Discord and talk to the drivers and see what's going on with the way the race schedule, and maybe even join the Spud Cup yourself, the link to our Discord will be in the description. Let me know you found this. Come and join the team. We would love to have you. Anyone can race, and we'd love to have you as part of the community. Other than that, guys, I'm going to leave you all to it. I will see you next week for round 6 of our Season 4. I hope you enjoyed, and bye!